Hello everyone and welcome to Hill Street. Today's story is, I'm really sick of these unpredictable country roads. If you end up enjoying this story, please leave a like. And if you enjoy hearing stories from me, please subscribe and become a resident of Hill Street and let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Now, let's get to this nightmare. I've lived in the country almost my whole life. I had a brief stint in Austin, Texas, and all it really did was show me that I'm absolutely not cut out for the city life. Living in the middle of nowhere really isn't that bad. Then again, I do live in the rural north, so who knows what happens in the rural south. Being here has its cons just like everywhere else. I guess the biggest complaint I have would be about the roads. During the summer, it isn't too bad, but when it starts getting dark at 5 p.m., it's a damn nightmare. I mean, I guess it's technically the same as anywhere else. Black ice, suicidal critters who woke up and decided they wanted to fist fight your fender. Most of the time, it's just typical things like that. Yesterday, however, that changed things. I'm definitely going to have to find a new route to work. I was supposed to get out of work at 4 p.m., but didn't end up getting to leave until around 5. Dusk was setting in, casting its orange hue over the world. I know the road home like the back of my hand. I know where the deer, fox, raccoons, and rabbits tend to hop out of the brush and into traffic. I know where water pools and turns to ice. I have driven it thousands of times. I was slowing down coming around a curve. With the constant fluctuation of temperatures, it was a toss-up whether I'd hit a puddle or a sheet of ice. You know what they say, better safe than dead in a ditch. But that was also when my headlights caught something very out of the ordinary. There was a man standing just over 6 foot tall holding a sign. I thought he was wearing some sort of mask, but as I slowed to a stop, I realized that it was absolutely not the case. He had the head of a coyote, but the rest of him was undoubtedly human. Between the dwindling natural light and the light of my headlights, I could see human hands clutching the sign so tightly his knuckles were white. As I read what was scrawled on the cardboard, I felt my blood turn to slush. My fight or flight kicked in, and I sure as hell was not going to try to fight this thing. Instead, I hit the gas. I just needed to get out of there. I sped away from that thing so fast that I wasn't paying attention the way I should have been. Losing control of your car on roads you could normally drive with your eyes closed is equal parts embarrassing and terrifying. I felt my soul try to leave my body as I started careening towards a gully. Externally, I was fighting to get control of my vehicle, but internally, I was definitely cursing the country for not putting guardrails up here like they said they were going to do for the past 6 years. My tires hit the slush on the side of the road, and just like that, there was no fight left to be had. It jerked my car to the side, and I started veering straight for the edge. I closed my eyes and braced for impact. I was also secretly praying it would kill me because the hospital bill would be enough to put me in debt until my 180th birthday. But no crash came. I waited for what felt like an eternity before I opened my eyes. And when I did, I was plunged from one nightmare right into another. My car was gone, and I was standing on, or rather in, what I can only describe as the night sky. Have you ever laid outside on a clear night and looked up, let yourself get lost while staring into the stars until you can almost feel yourself floating? It was just like that, wrapped in a blanket of blackness, with the light from millions of planets and galaxies flickering around me. I gingerly stepped forward, wanting to test the ground beneath my feet. I didn't know if this was supposed to be hell, purgatory, or wherever people who have turned from religion were supposed to go when they died. It was about then that the panic set in. If I was dead, how was I capable of conscious thought? If I was dead, I wouldn't be able to use my senses. I wouldn't suddenly feel so cold. Without thinking, I just took off running. Every step echoed like thunder in my own head. I could feel laughter begin to erupt around me. It shook my bones. My head felt like it was going to explode as millions of voices filled it at once. Join us. You saw the messenger too. You're not special. You belong here. You will join us in this place. I collapsed. My lungs ached. The muscles in my legs burned. I could feel myself sweat through the freezing air that was still seeping into me. I begged myself to fade into unconsciousness. As I began to close my eyes, the chanting turned to cheers. I could feel myself beginning to melt into the void around me. I resolved I would at least be happy while I was absorbed into this place. I willed myself to roll onto my back, to look up, to imagine myself in a different galaxy, a whole different world. An icy rain began to fall around me, soaking me, weighing me down further into the abyss. Right as I began to accept the fate that awaited me, a sharp crack shook the ground and split the sky. All of the other voices quieted as a new voice joined the mix. A voice that cut through me like static. The judgment is complete. I jerked, awoke violently, and found myself in my car. And my car wrapped around a tree right at the top of the gully. My whole body was sore, almost like I just got in an accident. Weird. But I, otherwise unharmed. Bruised and banged up, sure, but definitely no serious damage to my person. I dug my phone out from my bag and saw that no time had passed at all. I also took a second to be grateful for the newly renewed AAA membership. As I took out my card and unlocked my phone, I saw a drop of water hit the screen. Once again, I took note of just how cold it was. I started to pat myself down, and reality began to sink in. My clothes, my hair, my skin. I was drenched. It was like I jumped into a swimming pool fully clothed. All around me, the car was dry. No fresh rain had fallen. I felt myself begin to splinter. I was being ripped open for reality to make itself a new home inside of me. I couldn't deny it. I couldn't chalk up everything that I had just endured, just seen, just heard, to a near-death experience. As I waited for both the tow truck and my dad to arrive, I just kept circling back to the sign that the beast was holding. How no time had passed from when I crashed to when I woke up. How I was soaked to the bone. Then always right back to that damn sign. It left me questioning everything. The curiosity in my brain wants to search for answers, but the logical part of me can only offer a warning. There truly are things out there beyond our understanding. They travel. They're outside of our realm. I'm led to believe that they are truly always watching. As for the sign, there is a God here tonight, and He will be your judgment.